So we were taught introduction to software testing, and we look at what software testing is. That is a method to check whether the actual software product matches expected requirements. That is, we will have to check if if the product you are trying to put out there is good. So the Aboluwatife actually use Ribena as a case study.
Okay.
Yes. Also, we talk about quality assurance, that
All right.
they go beyond just checking. They make sure that everything is accurate, that the product is the best product, and also for looking at the consumer, the consumer end, like the end users, which is the consumer. So looking
Yeah.
at their satisfaction and everything. So they go beyond just testing. They look at every other aspect of the product to make sure it comes out good.
All right.
Then we also talk about the importance of software testing.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very
So
much. Thank you very much. You can stop there, please. Thank you.
okay.
Yeah, thank you. Blessing Samuel, good evening. Good evening, Blessing. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Can you continue from where Timdayo stopped? Like a quick recap of what we learned last week. Thank you. Oh, this week, sorry.
Sorry, I was having a network issue. I was trying to find my way around. I didn't hear what she was saying. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. I said the other
Okay.
speaker that
Person,
spoke,
all
the
right.
other person that
All right.
spoke,
I
I
just
didn't
asked,
hear what she said.
okay. I just asked for a quick recap of what we did this week, Tuesday.
Okay,
Like,
okay. We talked
yeah.
about software testing, the meaning, quality assurance. I think why is software testing important. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I think that was that. And we talked about few learning objectives. Yeah.
All right. All right. So can you give us some reasons why you think software testing is important?
Okay, is important because it helps to identify bugs or errors in the software.
Okay.
It can also, hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, it helps to identify earlier things that should be solved before the the delivery of the product or software.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So we are
Thank
going
you.
to continue to today's lecture, right? We are going to talk about type of testing. We have two types of testing. We have functional testing and non-functional testing. If we are doing functional testing, we are just checking and validating the software system against the functional requirements. This time around is not list of requirements, it's now functional requirements. Like we are testing if the application is working against the list of the functional requirements that is specified. We have FRD, like the functional requirements document, or FRS, that is functional requirement specification, that is being designed by the product owners. Product owners are people that they own the products. They design the FRD and all the FRS, however, is the same thing. So the ones, and the FRD is just going to talk about, or is just going to be centered around how they want the application to go. I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by FRD, right? So this is like, can you see my screen, please?
Yes,
Yes.
you
Hello.
can.
Oh,
Yes,
all
you
right, all
can.
right, all right. Thank you. So this is like this is like a FRD sample now. It's for an e-commerce website. An e-commerce website, like we can think about Jumia to be an e-commerce website, right? So the functional requirements, like the first one is user registration and login. Under the user registration and login, This is the functional requirement of that site, that the system shall allow users to register with a valid email and password. So if you have this functional requirement, whenever you want to test this user registration and login, you need to check if the system, that is, if the application you are testing actually allow users to register with a valid email and password. That's by doing that, you're performing a functional testing, like you're performing a functional test on that application, because you are checking the functional requirements against, you have your application, you go to the site, you want to log in, you log in with a valid email, you log in with a valid password, then the application takes you in. Then you can feel like, okay, for this, the system should allow users to log in with a valid email and password. You can check it because it is part of the functional requirements. Functional requirements is just going to be like a document, as I've said earlier, that's going to talk about the list of requirements that the product owner is that they want in the product, they want the product to do. So if you want to test this particular user registration and login as a software tester, you cannot break this down going forward. The system should allow users to register with a valid email and password. You can do a positive test. You write a valid email and a password, a valid password. That is you are trying to test if you can actually log in. Okay, if you are able to log in, you log out back. You can now do an invalid email. What do I mean by an invalid email? An email that does not exist, or an email that is not complete. You can write, everybody know that an email will definitely end with @sample.com. If it's Gmail, if it's Yahoo or something, it will definitely end with something like that. Your name or anything @sample.com. So if you want to perform a functional testing and you want to test something like this, you have to ensure that the system allow a user to register with a valid email and password. We have checked that. Now you want to try to do a negative testing. They want to try to check if you can log in with an email that does not exist and a password that is not part of the requirement. Some applications require you to have a password of capital letter, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase, characters, and numeric figures. Please, are you getting it? Can I continue? Can you unmute?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So the system shall allow your user to register with a valid email and password. So you can do a positive testing. You can input an email that is not correct to the email field, and just to try, you can input an incorrect password also. You can do a lot of testing based on this FRD1, and we have like a lot of it here. We'll continue that later. Right? So we are talking about functional testing. So functional testing, anytime you are asked to do a functional test on an application, the application should have a functional requirement or a ticket that states the functional requirements. They might just raise a ticket on Jira or Linear or Redmine. Okay, this is what we want the feature to do. We want this feature to do that. So you will check those lists of functional requirements against what the developer actually give you to test, or what the application is doing. The purpose of functional test is to test each function of the software application by providing appropriate inputs. I've told you the other time, we want to provide, they said that the application should allow a user to log in with a valid email and password. So you provide appropriate input first. Okay, a valid email and a password that is valid. That's you providing appropriate input. You provide appropriate input, verify the output. If I put a valid email and a password to this application, I should be able to log in. If you now put a valid email and a password to the application, consider the fact that you have registered before and you have done necessary things that needs to be done before you can log in, and the application is now showing error, maybe like invalid email or invalid password, and your password is correct against the functional requirements, that is, you can say that is a bug because it is not working the way it's supposed to work. Imagine you are trying to log into your bank app, like you are trying to log in to your bank app, and your password is correct, but when you click on login, you are getting incorrect password. You will be so frustrated because you know that it's not as if you change your password overnight, and it's not as if anybody have anything to do with your phone or anything that can change your password. So that is what we call by functional testing. Whenever you're doing functional testing or whenever we have to perform functional testing, we have to have a list of requirements. Don't forget, it can either be a FRD, FRS, or FRD, or just a ticket, depending on how the organization, they can just raise a ticket on Linear, Jira, or any testing management tools that they are using to just ensure that you understand the functional requirements of the application, provide positive inputs, negative inputs, boundary values, and every other thing that needed to be provided before you now write a output and say, okay, this is working, this is not working. That is what we mean by functional testing. Functional testing mainly involve black box testing, and it is not concerned about the source code of the application. When we talk about black box testing is just you are testing without understanding the code. That is what most of software testers does. How many of us can write code here? Kindly unmute and reply. How many of us can write code here? Like, you can write Java, C#, anything. Kindly unmute and respond, please. Anyone? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Can we write code?
Yes, a little.
I need
No,
to
I
see
can't.
the list. I need to see the list of people in this meeting.
No, I can't.
Okay. So I feel like apart from people that have gone through the route of being a developer before coming to take software testing as an added advantage to their career, most of software testers cannot write code basically, right? Except for the one that we want to use to test, maybe like the little one we need to write to test. But we cannot write code and we do not even understand what is in the code. So let's talk about black box testing. Black box testing is just you test without understanding what is going on in the code. You don't understand, but you understand the functional requirements. You understand what the application should do, but you don't understand what is going on in the code. That is why how you do black box testing. So we are going to what to test for when you are doing functional testing. What are you going to test for? The goal of functional testing is to make sure that the application features work as they should. It focuses on key areas. Like, what is the goal? Just make sure that this application is working exactly how they want it to work, is performing what they want it to perform. Let's go back to our FRD and let's take another module. We have the product catalog module. That says that the system should allow users to search for product by name or keyword. So imagine you want to search for a product on Jumia now. You want to buy, let's say, a cream, and you know the name, possibly Nivea. You now get to the search field of Jumia and you now search Nivea. Nothing related to Nivea is returned to you. And you were trying to search for you are trying to search for Nivea, so you won't be disturbing yourself. You are trying to search for Nivea, but nothing related to Nivea is returned back to you. So you will be frustrated, and there is no results. The best thing they will have displayed is no results found or no match found. Not like returning any other product that is not related to Nivea to you. So functional testing, when we are doing functional testing, we are to make sure that the application work the way it's supposed to work. They are not working against the requirements. We want to search. If user use keyword, it should return the list of products that is related to that keyword. So if user is trying to use any other thing that is different from that keyword, it is not working the way it is specified in the FRD. So that part of that particular test is failed, and it is a bug. You have to reopen it for the developer to go and fix it, because it might frustrate the users. The basic usability, when you're doing functional testing, just have it at the back of the mind that you are going to do basic usability. This check if users can easily navigate the app without any trouble. It allows to make sure they have a smooth experience. After you have checked what is specified, then you need to check. Okay, let me just go back to this one. Let me go back to this. This is the FLD. After you have logged in as a user, maybe the next module that's supposed to pop up on your screen is the product catalog. The system should display a list of available products with image, names, price, and description. Now imagine you log in, you were able to log into the application successfully. That's like the login, users registration and login. You register, it was successful, you log in, it was successful. But when you log into the application, everything just went blank. Like nothing is displaying. The next thing that's supposed to display after you have logged in is the product catalog, like the list of products, the name of the products, the price of the products. I'm using Jumia, an e-commerce site, for an example. We should picture that in our head. Like when you now log into your application, to your Jumia application, everything just went blank. Maybe it did not even throw error. Just everything just went black. Nothing is displaying. Then we can say that the basic usability of the application is not working. Like to check if the users can easily navigate through the application without any problem. Because I log into the application is supposed to take me to product catalog section, and I'm stopped. I'm not in product catalog section. So that is what we are checking for. We are checking the main function. Okay, the main function. Functional testing also look at the application, look at the app, is a core features to verify that they are working correctly just as they're supposed to work. I've said it earlier. You check the core function. The core function of this search field is that whenever a user puts in anything in the field, whenever they type a keyword in the field, it should return the list of products that are related to the keyword that the user used. So if the application is doing anything that is different from that, then it is a bug. It is not working the way it is. It's not working the way it is designed to work. It is working against its functional activities. So another one is that functional testing, accessibility. This ensures that the app is accessible to anyone, including users with disabilities. It's checked whether accessibility features area in a place and is functioning properly. When I'm just talking about accessibility, is that you're able to use the application. If it is like a mobile application, you're able to use it on almost every mobile. Not like they'll be like, okay, there are some applications that are like that, but maybe it is stated in the FLD. That's okay. This application will only works on Android. Okay, that is fine. You can tick it. But if it's not stated in the FLD and you're trying to use that application on iPhone, or you're trying to use it on any other device that's not Android or iPhone and is not working, then it is a bug, because that kind of application is not accessible to users. And we have error handling. Lastly, this is very important. Like if you are doing functional testing, it is like users should be aware of what is going on. User is trying to do something on an application and it's not working the way it's supposed to work, they need to be notified. They need to understand what is going on. They need to understand what is going on. Sorry, goodness. Okay. I'm just seeing your message now. Can you hear me? Hope I'm not too fast. Goodness.
I can hear you. I am here. I can hear you.
Oh, hope I'm not too fast, right?
You're a bit fast. Just can you try to slow down a little bit?
All right. Sorry. I will do
you.
that. All right. Thank you. I can give a recap if you want me to. Sorry.
No, I've been following.
Oh, okay. All right. So thank you. So when I'm talking about error handling, right? Error handling is just like I made this example the last class, right? I was trying to click on a submit button. Every one of us submit a form, and you were trying to submit the form on the application. I was trying to submit the form on the application, but no message, no pop-up, like submission successful, your form has been submitted, nothing. There's no way as a user you expect me to understand that this form I'm trying to submit has been submitted. That is error handling. Like if there is anything that is going on, let your user know. If user is trying to use incorrect password to log into an application, let them know. Don't just deny them access of not logging in, and they will not understand why they were not able to log in. If a user is trying to use a password that does not match the requirements of your password field, let's say, for example, we all can relate to this. Like a password field, most especially now, we now have a password field should consist of a lowercase, uppercase, signs, and numeric figures, right? So you should be able to know that if your user is trying to create to register to your application, and they are using a password that is not in line with your own requirements, point the users, tell the users what they are doing wrong, handle your error properly. Don't just leave the users in the dark. Let the user know, okay, incorrect password. Okay, your password needs to have at least one of this, one of this, one of that. That is what we mean by error handling. So do we understand? Can I proceed to the next slide? Anyone can respond. You can respond through chat or mute and talk. I just want to be so sure we all are following.
Yes.
I have a
Yes.
question.
Okay, well, who is talking about? You can unmute,
Goodness.
please. All right, goodness, unmute. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to confirm. You talked about FROD, and I want to confirm if it can also be likened to an acceptance criteria. Is it the same thing?
Acceptance criteria.
Yeah.
Probably is just, acceptance criteria is kind of, you can actually liken it to acceptance criteria, but FRD is just like let us get it right? It is like what the product owner designed. Are you getting me? Goodness.
Yes, I'm getting it.
Yes, it is like a document or a ticket. Like if we are doing it on test management tools like Redmine, Linear, Jira, we call it a ticket. Or if the product owner designed a document, this is what it is beyond acceptance criteria. That's why I said it's beyond acceptance criteria, because in it, let me go back to that slide. It is not just the list of, we have the introduction section. Like, you see the introduction section. This document is to define something, something, something. You will have the scope, like what you really want the application to do. You have other section other than the requirements. So the acceptance criteria you're talking about now is just that before we say this user registration and login is working, it has to meet all this list of requirements. Do you get?
Yeah, I do.
Acceptance criteria is
Thank you.
entry criteria, like when you need to test before you can start an FRD. Do you get my point now?
Yes.
It's an entry criteria, like you need to check this one before the FRD. Do you get? It's more FRD is different and acceptance criteria is different, but you can accept, like you can feel like the system should send an email verification link upon registration. If this is working, then you can accept this as a then you can accept this, that if this is working, then you can pass it, like you can pass it and accept it. I don't know if you understand my points so well. Good now.
Yes.
Blessing Samuel, FRD, as I've said earlier, is like a functional requirements document. Functional requirements document. And this is an example of functional requirements document. It is a document that shows you the list of requirements that an application should meet before you can deploy the application to production, or you can feel like, okay, yes, we have a working application. Blessing Samuel, can you unmute and confirm if you understand me before I proceed?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much.
Blessing Samuel.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I think I understand now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you have any other question before we proceed?
I also want to be sure I understand what you're explaining. So FRD now, is it for the entire application or for specific functionalities?
Howdy, is it for what?
Is it for specific features? For instance, the submit button you talked about, for instance, on Instagram, you want to submit a comment. and it doesn't show that you submitted it. So this FRD, does it tackle that specific functionality, or does it like tackle the entire application itself, the entire system?
It depends on the way it's designed, right? This for an example, you might have an existing system. Like what I mean by an existing system is like you have an existing application. Are you with me? Let's say OPay, right?
Yeah,
OPay is now trying to OPay is now trying to introduce a new feature, like let me say a loan app, a loan application. They're trying to integrate it to OPay. I don't know if they have that. So it's like we have an OPay, like we have a whole application working already. So they can raise an FRD to just center around that new feature, like it will be designed around that loan application. I don't know if you get my point. That does not mean that existing feature will come into the new one we are trying to raise. And if we are trying to create a new product from scratch, it has to contain everything around the application, at least from the beginning till we feel like we can give this to our user to use it. Sorry, I don't know. Does that answer your question, or do you understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Do you have any other question before I proceed?
No, not at the moment. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Does anyone have any other question? Like, is there anything you want me to talk about before we proceed with the class?
Yes, ma. I didn't understand main for function when you
Ma?
talk about what to test. I didn't understand when you talk about main for functions. You talk about basic usability, then you reach main functions. I didn't understand that part.
Okay. The basic usability is just like you're trying to check if users can navigate through the application. For example, this is a Jumia site, right? You register. Blessing, please, are you following?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes, you register to a Jumia site and you log in. So after a successful login, the next thing you are expected to do, or you expect the system to do, is to take you to the product category. Like you should see the list of products display, the image, the name, the price, and everything. So you will now check after a user is able to do this. That is the first one. User registration and login. Will they continue? After the user is able to do this, they're able to log in. What's next? Is the user does the application navigate the user to this product catalog section, or you might log in to some application and it will throw you out, like, or it throws you out. You're just trying to check, okay, if the user click on the back arrow, if the user log into this application, they're on the product category. You're just trying to check basic, like not like in depth, not like you trying to focus on what is on this. You have do this functional, you have passed all these functional requirement documents, you have passed the test. If they have passed, you have passed it individually. Now we are checking it, you are trying to relate everything together. Okay, you are trying to click on the back arrow of a tab. Is the user will the user be able to do that? You are trying to go back, you try to log in. After you log in, you try to log out, you try to log in back. Can the user do that? Like, is the application responding the way it's supposed to respond? That is you just checking because most of the time, all this basic usability might not be listed in the FRD. It is just something that you think a user will do. You should also try to do it. You should also try to test those parts. Do you get my point now, Blessing?
Yes, ma, I understand.
Yes, thank you. Do you have another question, please? All right. So we want to go to Favor, please unmute and talk.
Okay, thank you. Yes, my question is the FRD document, the FRD, are we is it the software testers that is to come up with it, or maybe like product manager or something?
Yeah, FRD is designed by product owners. I mentioned that earlier also. It's designed by product owners. Like we have the product managers, the product owners. They will design the FRD. They are the one that owns the product. They are the one that know what they want the product to do. They will design it. And most of the time, we might not. Sometimes it might just be like a ticket online, like a ticket. They will just raise a ticket. We have these test management tools, right? We have Jira, we have Linear, we have Redmine, anyone. They will just raise a ticket like, okay, this is the title of this feature 101. User should be able to log in. User should be able to log in into the application successfully. And after user is able to log in, they will just raise a simple ticket. Okay, this one is for user logging in. This one is for user logging out. This one is for that. I like that, but it's not designed by software testers. You are just to get it, understand it before you start testing. You get the document, you read it, you understand, you know what the application, you do not know the source code, you don't know what is going on in the code, you know what the application wants you to do before you test. Favor, does that answer your question?
Yes,
Favor.
it does.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you
it
very
does.
much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Yes,
Oh,
do we have any other question? Okay, so let's proceed, please. Now let's go to types of functional testing. Don't forget that the recap of everything I've been doing since morning is that we have two types of testing generally. We have the functional testing and the non-functional testing. And when we are doing functional testing, we are checking if our application, if it actually meets a list of functional requirements. And I said this functional requirements, it can either be in an FRD or FRS, like a document or functional requirement specification, or a linear ticket or anything. It can be a document. So we are just to check, this is what the product owner asks this application to do. Is it doing it? That's what we are checking. We are checking the functional we are checking the functional aspects of the application to be so sure that the application is working the way the functional requirements want it to work. And I told you that when you are checking for functional requirements, like when you are performing functional testing, right, you need to check your basic usability also. Your basic usability is just what you think that is not in the functional requirement, but you think a user will do. Like it is not necessary. They might not even add it that users should go back, like navigate back after going to a particular page. Users should be able to navigate back. But you know that some users, after they have gone to a page, they will just want to go back and maybe they want to try something. So those are basic usability. And we talk about accessibility also. And we also talk about error handling. Error handling is let your users know what is going on. Don't put them in the dark. Let them understand what is going on. Do we understand? Before we go out to types of functional testing, you can just unmute or reply in the chat, please. Yes, thank you, Blessing.
Yeah,
So we
we're
have
following.
yes, thank you. Yes, we have types of functional testing. We have a lot. You're still going to read more on our own. I will share you a link online, like on the Discord channel. You can use the link, or you can just use your Google types of functional testing. They will bring it for you. We have the unit testing. Unit testing is a type of functional testing techniques where individual units or module of the application is tested. Like if you want to perform a unit testing now, and unit testing is majorly performed by developers. Imagine you raise a bug for developer that, okay, you click on submit button and the submit button is not working. And the developer go and write a code to make the submit button to work. Before the developer comes to you, he wants to try to ensure that, okay, does this thing actually fix this problem? Can we submit now? If we click on submit, is our submit button working now? So that is what we mean by unit testing. We have unit testing, we have integration testing. Integration testing. Don't forget, unit testing is just you checking a unit, like a unit. A unit can be as small as it can be as small as a button. It can be as small as a text field. Maybe you are trying to type your email into a text box, and that text field is disabled. Like you want to type, but you are not able to type. You will raise a bug. Then after it has been fixed, it will try to check if it's actually working before they bring it to you to test again. So that is what we call about unit testing. We have integration testing. Now, integration testing is we now combine individual units are tested as group, and they are exposed to faults and in the interaction between the integrated units. When you're talking about integrated units, right? Just understand that when you're doing integration testing is just you test each module, how they relate to each other, each page, like this is the login page, how the login page integrates with the next page, let's say the product catalog page, how the product catalog integrates with the add to chart page. Okay, can users, after user login successfully, are they taken to the right page, which is the product catalog page? After they are done in that product catalog section, if they click on a product, can they successfully add that product to a cart? Okay, they were taken to the next stage, which is add to cart. After adding to cart, can they check out? They were taken to checkout. After the checkout, can they pay? Can they make payments? That is it. So we have unit testing and integration testing. So before I proceed, to be so sure that we understand and we are following, I want at least 2% to voluntarily unmute the mic, explain what they understand by unit testing, and the next person should explain what they understand by integration testing before I proceed. Anyone? Or should I call names? Okay. Christina. Goodness, I'm coming. I will answer your question. Christina, can you hear me? Okay. Temidayo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please, do you understand unit testing?
Yes.
Okay, please, can you explain to us what you think a unit testing is?
Unit testing actually is a method by which you use in testing, it can be a cell, it can be a box from the software. You want to check if that box or a cell is actually working effectively. For example, it could be maybe when you want to type in your email, maybe you didn't find when you click on where to type in your email, it's not you can't type it in. So that's
Okay.
a bug. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. So let me explain that again. The unit testing and the integration testing. The unit testing, right? Let me just try to. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So
Yes.
if there is a bug, let's assume, we are just assuming now because there's no bug there. But assume you want to click on this search field on Google, and as you are typing your text, nothing is showing on the search field, like your text is not coming here. This field is disabled, like you cannot access it. You raise this bug, just assume that you want to search for something on Google and the text field is disabled, and you ask a developer to fix it. After the developer has fixed, it will do the testing, of course, check if it's working before it brings it to QA to test. So for this particular type of testing is a unit testing, because the only thing you want to test here after they have told you that it has been fixed is just for you to come here. Can I type now? Okay, yes, I can type. You can now say this bug has been fixed. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is what we mean by unit testing. Now we will not talk about integration testing. Integration testing is after I enter my name and I click on enter button on Google, it should take me directly to this page. It should take me from that. This is my previous page, right? It should take me to a new page. Like this is it. My name. This one is working. I've tested. I enter. It takes me to the next page. Okay, I'm on the next page. This is like a module. Let's say this is like a page or a module. This is all. If I click on this all and I scroll down, I should be able to see the list of everything that is there. Okay, if I click on this image, I should be able to see this image. It's not like after I entered my name and I click on enter, my page did not leave this place. As I click my name, let's just assume I've pressed the enter button. Instead of it's taking me to the next page, the system did not leave this page. It did not take me to the next page. So if you are doing integration testing, you're just trying to check, okay, after my name, enter. Okay, yes, I've been navigated to all section. After you have checked the all section, then you can go to the image. Okay, I click on the image, you can see I'm now being navigated to the image section. I've left the all section. Do you understand now? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we sure we understand?
Yes.
Okay, if you have any question, just raise up your hand. Does it comfort? Please, comfort, please. I don't really understand your question. Can you just unmute and talk? Comfort. Okay. So, but hope we get what we mean by integration testing. Integration testing, you know, the unit testing is just considering a part, like a part of an application. This feed is not working. This is a part. But now integration testing is beyond a part. It's not considering the whole application, the application as a whole. Like you check this one, okay, this one is working. Then you check the next one, okay, this next one is working. Then you check the next one. After this one, after you click on this all, okay, you click on video, you're able to go to the video section. You are performing integration testing. You are checking how this is a unit. This is like a page. This is like another page. So you're checking how they actually works together, like how they works together, how the application integrates to each other, like if they're actually functioning the way it's supposed to function. Do we understand the unit testing and the integration testing now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, integration testing, goodness, is done by QA. Like you are expected to do integration testing. Although sometimes we also do unit testing, but most of the time is developer works. But integration testing is done by QA. Goodness, does that? Okay, thank you. Do we have any other question? Do we have any other question?
No.
Do we understand?
Yes.
Emmanuel, please, can you explain what you understand by unit testing and integration testing before we proceed?
Um, All right.
Thank you.
Let me start with integration. If
Okay,
you check the word integrating, it's like, okay, you linking things together.
exactly.
Yes. So if I click on About Us button, it should actually take me to About Us. It shouldn't take me to Contact Us.
Thank you very much.
That's just a basic example
On
of
integration
integrating.
testing.
Then when it comes
Yes.
to unit
Unit
testing, okay, let me go back to the Google page that you used. So, okay, I might have a feeling, okay, this search button, I feel there's something wrong. I can pick the search button as a unit for me to test on
Okay.
its own. If I type in this, hope it's showing, is it in capital letter? Is it in small letter? So things like that. Is it visible when I type? So that's unit testing, picking
All
a
right.
single item.
All right. Thank you very much. Doris, is done by who? Unit testing is majorly done by developers, like those that write the code. It's not as if QA will not test, but most of the time, even if they fix a new bug, right, we still have to do more of integration testing. So integration testing is done by QAs. Imagine you raise a bug now that you're unable to search on Google. As a QA, after the bug has been fixed, you check if you're able to search, then you're able to check further. Okay, after I search, okay, is this thing that was working before, hope it's still working, because hope this developer has not break another thing. So integration testing is majorly done by QA, while unit testing is done by developer. Doris, have I answered your question? Yeah, thank you. So do you have any question?
Yes, please.
Before
Thank you.
Yes, I have one.
All right, please.
I don't understand when you said QA, who
Yeah,
or what?
like when I said QA, like the quality assurance, the software testers. Sorry. The word QA is for quality assurance, right? Software testers.
Okay, thank you. That was much better.
Yeah, thank you very much. So do you have another question? Okay, so we can go back to our slide. Okay, so we have user acceptance testing, UAT testing. This is done on the client. It is done by the client to certify that the system meets the requirements and its work as is intended. It's intended to work. Like when we are doing UAT testing, you have done the old testing in the production. You have done it on the staging. You just give it to the client to test. Okay, this is, imagine a client requested that you build an application, right? That's like a loan application. They give you the list of requirements. They discuss it with your product owners and the product owners and the CRM and everybody. They come up with developer that will build the application, the tester that will test and everything. After you have done the whole thing, you will take it back to the person that requested for it. Imagine Blessing requested that she needs an application that can do this, that can do this, that can do that, right? The product owner takes that application, design it the way Blessing wants it, give it to the developer to work on it. The developers work on it, they design it, the QA testers test, they check if everything is working. Now the client will also now check. Blessing will also now check, okay, is this what I really want from you? Like, okay, yes. If this is what I really want from you, then it will pass. You are the one that really requested for the application from onset. So you will check as a UAT is done on the client side because you are the one that is requesting for the application. So you will check if it's actually working the way it's supposed to work. Blessing, do we understand the UAT?
Yes, very clear.
Yes, that is.
I understand. So what you're saying is the UAT testing is done in production.
Yes, it's done. It's done in the production. Like you have given it to your clients, they should just test if that is what they want. If everything that was designed meets their requirements, the way the product owner and everybody did it, if it's actually working the way it's supposed to work. Yes, that's what we talk about the UAT testing. The system testing. We have system testing. It is a type of software testing that is performed on the completed integrated system to evaluate the compliance of the system with the corresponding requirements. This is like you have a completed integrated system, like you have performed your integration testing. You have, okay, Sadiq, please unmute and talk.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
I think you take it on after that. This interface testing, you didn't go there. Just jump to system testing.
Oh,
Not...
sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The interface testing. Thank you very much, Sadiq. Thank you. The interface testing is a type of software testing that check the proper interface between different software system. Like you check the interface. When we are talking about the interface, like just the virtuals, like how the application look, like the interface, the what's the application looks like. That's what basically what you check. Okay, if the color of the software or the product is green, okay, does the interface really talks more about the color? Hope it's not using different shades of color. Like you just check basically the interface of the system. Do you understand that? Sadiq, right?
No, really.
Yes, I do.
Goodness, do you have any question?
I don't fully understand it. Are you talking about testing what the product looks like against the designs?
You are testing what they want the product to look like against what you actually have. For
What do you
example,
look at?
Like colors,
if
like colors,
like you check the interface,
interface of
this
the
interface, the interface of the
I
application.
understand.
If
What I'm
it's
asking is, as against what? What is showing you what it should look like? So are you saying we're testing against the UI UX designs that has been made, and we're checking if the product is the same as the designs, or is it something else?
yes, you can check. Yes, that's what you're checking for. You are checking if the product actually meets the UI UX, like if it has been approved, like, okay, this is how the UI UX should look like, then you can test against that. And if there is no UI UX in this sense, like you have just to check the interface. Like imagine a brand now as a color. I'm trying to look for Jumia color, like this orange. So there's no way you will navigate through the app and you will see any other color as the background color. Do you get the point? Imagine you are asked to test this electronic module now. You now click on the electronic module, you're now seeing like green or red as the background color, which is not related to the application interface. You know, the application has an existing interface itself. So I'm just telling you, in case there is a UI UX, yes, you are going to check against that. But in case there is none, you are going to check against what do they have before? Then you check against that. Are you clear now?
Okay, so we're checking for the consistency.
Yes, you're checking for the consistency
all the pages
of the interface of what is displayed, right? Do you understand now? Can I proceed?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we have the systems testing. As I've said earlier, you have the whole application, like you have done the integration testing, you have done everything. Now you're just to check if it actually meets the compliance. Like, let's take, for example, you cannot just have a bank app or a loan app without meeting some compliance, like for the system, maybe by CBN, by these bodies. Like just to check, okay, what we have, is it in line with the compliance of the system? Do we get the point now? Hello? Do you understand what system testing does?
No, man.
Not clearly.
No, please.
Okay. You can't just design a bank app or a bank app and just put it out for users like that. There are some certain procedures, like maybe set rules and regulations set by the CBN or anybody's, that's okay, this before you can have this, you must have this. Before you can have a banking app, you must be registered, you must have these licenses, you must take this VAT from your users and everything. So the system testing is just like you are checking everything against those compliance that is on the ground. That is if there is any. For the maritime industry now, you are going to check, okay, I'm just using that as an example, right? Like there are some compliance that, okay, before you have a vessel, there are some registration, there are some certificates your vessel should have. You can't just have a vessel. Do you really have these certificates? Do you really pass all this compliance before you give your user what they are using? This is, just think about systems testing. Like you have a whole application that is working. You're just checking it against what is required for you before you can have that application. Example again, I'll go over it again. Like a banking app you cannot just have a banking app, right? Without you passing some rules and regulations provided by CBN, provided by. So how do you go about that testing? Of course, it will be provided for you. This is they will provide this for you, that you should check this, you should check that. Do you get comfort, PC? Hey, sorry. Comfort. Goodness, please, you can proceed.
Okay. So still on comfort's question, how do you go about testing that? And also, is this a kind of testing that is performed on the system? Let's assume it's an app that has been developed. Is this testing performed on the app, or is it some kind of maybe documentations to be sure you have what you need to do, what you need to have?
They are going to provide this for you, right? The list of the requirements, they're going to provide it for you. And in most cases, you have a fully working application already. You have done your integration testing, you have done every other thing. You're just checking if there is some other thing you are missing out. Like maybe like before you release this application, there is a body that is against people releasing this application. Okay, have you settled with this body? Like, okay, CBN require you charge 10% VAT from your customer whenever they do transfer. Do you add that in your own application? Like if you did not add it, you know that if you are against the CBN rules, do you get the point now? You are just to check based on the compliance.
Yeah, I do.
Yes. You are just to check based on compliance. You have done your integration testing. You have done you are so sure that okay, the application is working based on the requirements, based on the FRD. You have done your unit testing, you have done integration testing, you have done regression testing. You're just checking if there is no other thing you are missing out, like a slight thing. This is very key to the banking sector, right? This is like a key to them, because a little thing can make the application not to be allowed to be used by the users. They can just ask them to go back and redesign or something. So
True.
that is it. Blessing, you are raising your hand. You still have another question?
Yes. But it's still not clear to me. Sorry. The system testing, is it that this thing is, there are certain things you have to put into, like take for instance now in the app, in the bank app you take for instance. Is it that you say you need your name requirements, you accept this or this? Is it going to be integrated in the software for you to check and test, or is after your testing and everything that you now comes up for you to check?
Okay, now it is going to be there in the FRD. It is going to be there. But when you're doing system testing, right, you're just going to ensure, like, you are so focused on that little things that might not make your application to be acceptable in the real world environment. Like, hope this application is functioning the way it's supposed to function when you get to the real world environment. Like, that is what you are just checking for. You are checking to be so sure that what you have, the requirements you have, don't forget, you have done everything. You have done the integration testing. This is self-testing. You're just checking those compliance. Okay, we have to deduct this from this. Okay, do we really do this? does this meet that? It is, you are still checking it. Don't forget, you are still on functional testing. All these types are still under functional testing. So you are still checking that system that you have against the working system that is available. Someone is raising his hand. Please, are you still raising your hand? I can't see the person again. If yes, you can unmute and talk, please.
Okay, yeah, I'm still raising my hand.
All
Just
right,
wanted
thank you.
to use an example to explain my understanding of what system testing is.
Okay.
Okay, I see system testing as testing that involve you testing with the compliance officers of a company. Compliance officers, what do?
Okay.
They check that our company is complying with the policies of the government.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you as the tester is coming in to check, okay, have we, maybe the terms and conditions, are they properly written? Are we
Yeah.
testing
Yeah.
to make sure that the terms and conditions are placed where they are supposed to place and they are
Exactly.
actually clicked upon when and what pops up and what pops out. So that is where this system tester, the QA tester comes in to come and test. Say, okay, these things are actually, we are complying with the policies that allows this company to run this website or run this app. So let's see system testing as a testing that involves a QA tester to work with the compliance officer to achieve the goal of making sure that the company understands and that the company complies with the policies of the government for that company. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Victor. Okay, goodness. You raised up around, right?
Yes. I think I just want to like also add to what he said, because it's not all applications that have some form of compliance.
Yes, yes, of course.
Maybe banking and some other applications that maybe have to do with security, finances could have that, but not all applications have compliance. So
Compliance, yes.
I, from my understanding, system testing is more of test after we've done the unit testing, we've done integration testing, we've done user acceptance testing, that's the UAT testing of the functionalities. System testing is more of testing the entire system to be sure they are all working together and there's nothing that is failing. For instance, now we could use, you're always using Jumia, for example. So I would still use Jumia, for example. For instance, the feature that was just developed is maybe the add to cart feature, where users can be able to add items that they like to cart and they should be able to check out. So that's in terms of maybe doing integration testing, you're clicking on the item you like, you're clicking on add to cart, you're clicking on view to see if you're able to view it to cart. That's integration testing. But in terms of system testing, it's testing the entire system. So you create an account, you sign up, you log in, you go to the search bar and search. For instance, you're looking for a Nivea cream. You go to the search bar and you search Nivea, you find it, you see the price, you click on add to cart and you check out. All of those things, testing the entire system to be sure all the components are working hand in hand and working well. That's what
Okay.
I think system testing is. Please let me know if that's correct.
Yes, system testing, according to what you said and what Victor said, that is what system testing is. But majorly, right, it is the compliance aspect. Because if it still requires us doing, like, we have end-to-end testing. Blessing, goodness.
Yes.
Yes. So I feel like if we have done integration testing, we've done end-to-end testing, we've done other forms of testing, right? So it will still look like we are doing the same thing for an application that does not really have compliance to meet, for us to feel like, okay, we still want to check over and over again. But system testing is just to ensure that what you said, you mentioned what Victor also said, that we are checking against the compliance, like what this application should do. as regarded by the body, by the compliance body of whatever application you're trying to deliver, to evaluate that the system is fully integrated to solve the solution and to meet the compliance of that application. I don't know if you get my point. Bless goodness. Two people are raising up their hands. Goodness.
Yeah, I'm here. I understand.
All right, thank you.
So,
okay, we have people
okay.
raising up their hands. Please just, I cannot see the list of, okay, Goodness, you still want to add?
So for applications or websites that do not have any form of compliance policy, do they still need system testing?
I would say no. If you have done your integration testing, you have done your end-to-end testing, like it's just like you're doing reputation.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. We have people raising up their hands, right? So I can see like 3 people before. Please, if you still want to talk or mute and talk, please. I can't see your name. I can't see
Hi,
the
good
list of.
evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, peace. Good evening.
Okay, my question is still on this system testing. If system testing is testing for compliance, is it okay in regards to the regulations guiding the body of a particular app or software that you're building? Then where do you classify W3C?
W3C.
3C.
W3C.
W3C. Yes, C for cat.
W3C testing.
Yes.
W3C testing is just to check the HTML and just checking the HTML and the CSS. Or is there any other?
But there's also compliance.
What do you say?
There's also compliance.
Don't let us overthink this, right? W3C, you're just checking if your HTML and CSS are like they are designed the way it's supposed to design. They are meeting this is how a HTML code should be structured. If your developer is working if your developer is designed that HTML of aspect of your application the way it's supposed to be designed. Most of these HTML designs, W3C, like HTML markup, is not something that will really be known to users.
Okay.
Please, do you really get my point? Like, if you are not a software tester, if you are not a software tester, if you are not a developer, you might not even know that this whole code is not properly structured. So so I really feel like we can say it is, but it is not really what system. You cannot say that is what system is, or what system testing is all about. We can put it in, but it's not that type of compliance. Like the compliance we're talking about is something that can stop your application, like that can make your application not that's okay. Imagine you design an application and see me feel like you're not following the rule. They might ban that application not to give services out again. Do you get the point? Like,
yes.
That's just it. That's just it. Someone else raises his or her hand.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Salam Sadiq.
I think this system testing is a very simple something if you can get the literal meaning of it. But people are getting it wrong because they are looking at the system generally, but they are not focusing on, the point where we are now. Because if you want to check from the beginning, if we just checking the meaning of the system test according to what you give us now, it's very simple. To give us the analysis of what we mean by system testing. Like in every app you are building, there's always a corresponding requirement from the owner of that, as the person that's giving that app to build for him or be the company. So like now it is a type of software testing that is performed on the complete integrated system. After you have added our integrated system, the user interface testing, the integration testing, the all those ones. Then the next thing is the systems. Like now, I'm giving and like you give an example of a CBN Jumia, because all these people they have body that controls them, and because they have a body that controls them, if I'm joining that particular body or particular, I want to be the app that will join that app, then there must be a compliance for me. Like I must follow a kind of rules and regulations I must follow. So if the app I mean, they're going to stop the app from working because I've already gone against the rules and regulations that is guiding that body. So if you understand that there must be, before you can be an app now, then there's always, a corresponding requirement from the body that controls that particular business or maybe whatever you want to do. So it's just software tester is just system testing is just for them to test if you have not gone against the rules and regulations of that particular body. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have to do with maybe HTL, all those things, other things. It's just for you to know if that thing will correspond with the regulation of the corresponding body, the requirement that is required from you to the compliance that is required from you to follow. I think that's
Yes.
what I understand. And it's very straightforward.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much,
That's
Sadiq.
all
Thank
right.
you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Do you have any other questions from any other person? System
No.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, comforts.
These compliance policies as a QAQC, like you're new to the system. How do you get to know about all these policies? Where do you get to access them
Every
in order for you
information,
to use it for the testing?
every information you needed will be provided to you, right? Like it will be
By
specified
whom?
in the FLD. It might most importantly, like every information you needed, like will be specified in the FLD. You're just checking again and again, like if it's actually still working. Comfort, do you get my question? Do you get my answer, right?
Yes.
And compliance, as Victor has said, compliance officers will provide the documents for you also. Okay, after you are done, they will provide the list of documents for you also. Like, okay, you are done with every other form of your testing. Okay, check for this, check for this. But most of this thing in most organization is done by the product owner, because the product owner will have met with everybody that needed to be met with. So they should add that to the functional requirement documents. Don't forget that all this type of testing, there are still types of functional testing. We have not go to non-functional testing. So we are still doing functional testing. Everything we are still talking about is still to ensure that our application meets the functional requirements. So if you need anything, it should be provided for you in the FLD of the application. And if it is in an organization that requires you to meet with the compliance officer to provide it for you, that they will give it to you. Do you understand my question? Answer, Comfort.
Yes, I
Comfort.
do. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Do you have any other question or we continue? Do you have any other question?
No.
Okay. So we have regression testing. Just think about regression testing as when you have raised I've explained regression testing the other time. When you have raised a bug, right? Like, okay, this search field is not working, and your developer has done the changes, have committed the code, and they have give you they have fixed, they have give you the fix, they have committed to your testing environment. You just test, okay, now can I search? Okay, yes, I can search. I can search Nivea. Okay, after searching, if I click on Nivea, are these products that is being displayed? Like my network, right? Okay. are these products Nivea? Like, is this what I'm searching for? You are not only to stop at, okay, now that I search Nivea, these products, okay, I'm seeing Nivea. You will proceed with testing, like you will continue. Okay, if I click on this add to cart for this Nivea product, will I be able to add to cart? Okay, product added successfully. You will proceed with testing. Okay, can I go to my cart? Can I go to view cart? This is you checking, like, the new commits, the new code that was committed has not break existing functionalities. Like the new fixes. Sometimes a developer will fix something and they will break another thing. So you have to check beyond the bug that is being fixed. You raise a bug that this thing is not working, you're unable to log in. Okay, developer say, oh yeah, go and check. Oh, tester, go and check. I've commit code. You can now log in now. After you have logged in, check what was working before, what you can do before, like what you can do before. Check it over and over again to be so sure that that's code fix, like that aspect where the developer fix the code, that okay, this code should now enable users to log in, does not break users from being navigated to the home screen. You have to check over and over again. You have to check every other thing that was working before the fix. Do we understand regression testing?
Yes.
Yes, very clear.
Yes.
Yes. So that is regression testing. You are just to check if that's what was working before is working, and what the new fix has been fixed indeed. So we have white box testing. White box testing just simply means that you are testing with the understanding of the source code. Like you understand the developer's code, you understand what is going on in the code, right? And you are testing with the understanding, okay, you know that is for those people that know what is going on in the code. Okay, we know what is going on in the code. So when you are testing with that understanding that, okay, this is what this code should do. Then you want to perform a white box testing. Black box testing is just like the opposite of white box testing. You are testing without understanding what is going on in the code. You don't know what you don't know what is going on in the code. You don't know what the code can do. You do not even know anything that is going on in the code, but you know what the requirements of the application is. You know what the application should do. So you are testing based on the requirements. Do you understand sanity testing? Sorry, do you understand the black box testing?
Yes.
Do you understand black box
Yes.
testing?
Yes.
Yes. We have other forms of testing. We have the sanity testing. We have the smoke testing. Okay, Shuko Victor, right? Please unmute and talk.
I wanted to know, are we going to learn all these types of testing on this program?
Yes, we are going to learn it.
Okay,
When you
thank
start
you.
doing manual, all this type of testing is something you can relate to. Like, I don't want us to really overthink software testing. There are things you do on an application that you use on a daily basis, right? So you are just doing it with the understanding of what you are doing, and you have a requirement that is guiding you. Like you have a list of requirements that is guiding you to do what you are doing. Imagine most of us use this application Jumia, right? So if you are to test an e-commerce application, you will not see anything different except the list of requirements of the application is kind of different. Most of these things are what we do on a daily basis as a user. But as a user, we are not testing the app, we are using the app. Do you get my point, Victor?
I get your point. I just wanted to know if you are going to carry out this testing process.
We are going to carry out most of the testing process during the course of the program. Yes, you're welcome. We have a lot of testing. We have a lot of functional testing. We have a lot. We have retesting. We test. We have smoke testing. Smoke testing is just a quick check to be ensured that everything is working. Like just a quick check. Like just check okay, this one is working, this one is working, this one is working, this one is working, this one is working. That is what smoke test is. Smoke test is just like a quick, you are not really testing like that. You just want to do a quick check to ensure that, okay, if I click on this button, will it click? If I go to home page, will I be really navigated to the home page? If I go to the add to cart, will I be able to add to cart? Goodness, it is not complicated as it stands. Okay, the practical, don't worry, we will still do the practical in comfort. But it is not, I don't want to, that's why I'm saying that we should not really overthink it, right? It is not really complicated. Just have the understanding of what each of these testing does. Then when you are still using that application you are about to test, you are still using it. But this time around, you are not using it as a user. You are using it as a tester. Now you know what to check for. So when next you want to log into an application, of course, if you are to test an application that requires you to log in, before as a user, if you want to log in, you will just put your email and your password, right? That is what you will do, and you will click on login. But now, as a tester, you will go beyond just putting your email and password. Now you want to check if you can use an incorrect email to log in, if you can use an incorrect password to log in. We are still going to do most of this thing in the class. So comfort is not as complicated as it sounds, right? As Goodness has said. Comfort, are you with me? Comfort. All right. Let's proceed. We have smoke testing, we have sanity testing, we have integration testing, white box testing, black box testing. So we want to quickly explain what they understand, at least one or two type of testing they understand. Like, I love it when people voluntarily explain. Or if you did not voluntarily explain, I will call your name and you have to talk, right?
What did you ask?
Like, just explain what you understand about types of functional testing so far. Like, and you can pick a sample of functional testing, then you explain it before we go to non-functional testing. Anyone?
Okay, let me give it a try. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Emmanuel, you will go after Goodness.
Okay, so functional testing is a kind of testing that is done to ensure that a software meets the requirements that has been provided. That's what functional testing is about. So you're testing as against the FRD or whatever form of requirements that has been provided to you. And there are different types of functional testing that we've been talking about. We have the unit testing. The unit testing is when you're testing the specific units of that, for instance, if you're developing a feature or a functionality, the specific units, individual cells. And we also have integration testing. Integration testing is when you're testing a combination of different units, and you're testing how they work well with each other, if they are responsive to one another. For instance, you click on the search button on an e-commerce platform. Does the search work? And then you try to type. Are you able to type? And when you're done typing and you click enter, did it work? Or maybe while you're typing, you decide to delete some things, did it work? You're testing all of those things together. That's integration testing. And I think I'll just stop here. So let's ask.
All right. Thank you. Yes, Emmanuel. Good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
Pick maybe two system and regression. Regression testing. Okay, for example, if you're working on a software and you discover a particular page, you need to make a modification. So after going back to the code, making your modification, you need to retest again to see if the modification you made is not affecting any other parts in that page. I don't know if we get that.
Yes.
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 Okay, why system testing to my best of knowledge is okay. You're done with your unit and integration, the interface, everything. Now you bring in the whole pages together as a whole. Let's take, let me cite an example like a foreign currency application now. You've linked everything together, it's working. You start from the login, the registration, I mean, the login, everything. Then there are some things you need to check. Things like, okay, for the foreign exchange for vacation, probably the maximum amount you can request for is 6,000 USD. Now you need to test that, okay, the field is working, but if I put more than 6,000 USD, how will the application handle it? Then that and that, then if you put 6,000, if you put more than 6,000, how will you handle it? Will it notify you? You test that. If you put 6,000, will it take you to the next page? If you put the right documents, things like that. That's on the software in-house. Then it also goes a little more than that. Like now as the company, let's say probably I'm the tester or QA or something. Okay, you've built a foreign exchange application. Now, what do I think can affect you as a company? Is there anything you have to have? Most important, you have to have probably ISO, International Organization for Standard. You have to have that. It signifies a process, system, or a product makes specific international standard for quality, safety, and efficiency. Because when it comes to that, registering for foreign currency app, you might need to be taking people's BVN, NIN. Then we are talking about data protection. People's data, are they like protected? If they are using this, so all those type of compliance, because at the point of you wanting to deploy it, you have to do that.
All right.
Because
Yeah.
if you don't, okay, let me just make it,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Thank,
we all get it.
yeah. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I feel like another Emmanuel raises up his or her hand. Please, if you are still on the co-economics and talk.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chamaka.
Okay. All right. What I understand by unit testing, I think I'll use unit testing like an atom, which is the smallest unit of an element. So, unit testing, it's just a particular place you wanted to get fixed. When you design a website, is it that the button is not working fine? Or is it that the interface? You go to the particular structure that you wanted to edit. So after editing it, so you check it if it is working fine. So that is unit testing. The
Okay.
integration testing, it serves like a molecule, whereby a molecule is the combination of atom. So the molecule it consists of probably like is it that the button that is not working combined with probably the color is not blending and probably the font size is too big. So you are going to attend to everything as a whole in the integration testing, which works seamlessly. So that's integration testing. User acceptance testing. You as a tester yourself, you can feel like, okay, I've done this thing. This thing is working fine according to what the user wants. So you giving it back to the user. Even the error that you personally doesn't see might be seen by the user. So I'm be like, okay, this is now okay. Let's say for example, animation. You put ease out, and when you give to the user, I might say I want ease in. So that is the user acceptance testing part.
Okay.
This The system testing, it is the compliances, the rules that govern each application. Every application have their own rules. The rules
Yeah.
that govern e-commerce is different from the rules that governs a what's it called, a financial operation like a bank system. So the rules, you must follow the rules. That is the system testing. Just the rules. That this thing, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. These are the things. It's more like when you want to open a corporate account, you need a CAC. So without a CAC, you can't open an account. That's the system testing. And the regression testing, the only difference between the regression testing and the unit testing is that when you check particular thing, when you are made a particular structure in the regression testing, which is the same thing as unit testing in the regression, but you still have to go and check other places. Okay, I've altered this place. I used a font size, probably like sans serif here. Okay, when I was doing it, hope I've not altered another place that I go and use monospace. So you have to check everything. Okay, is everything balanced? So that's literally what I understand by the testings.
All right, thank you very much, Shamaka. Thank you very much. So because of our time, we'll proceed to non-functional testing. So everything we've been discussing so far, they fall under the functional testing.
Uh,
Now we go to the non-functional
sorry, before
testing.
you continue,
All
I just have
right.
one question. Can you go back to the slide 8?
Slide 8.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. I
Yeah.
thought this, I thought unit testing, integration test, user case testing, and system testing are levels of testing, not
There are
necessarily.
types of testing, and under types of functional, these are types of functional testing.
No, let me explain.
We have, let me explain to you, right? If we are saying levels of testing,
yeah,
hello, like if we are saying levels of testing, they still fall under types of testing. If we are reading some documents, like if we are reading some documents on software testing, they will categorize it under types of testing. And if we are reading some documents of software testing, they will categorize it under level of testing. But all these things you are still doing is to ensure that you are testing the functional aspect of the application. If I'm performing a regression testing, I'm not testing something that is not related to the functional aspect of the application. So I'm still performing the functional testing. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, because I was reading ISTS, ISTQ, and they mentioned documents, and they mentioned
yes. If you can just go online and do more. Aside from that, just go online and do more findings. We have all these things you are still doing is to ensure that your application is still working functionally.
Yeah.
Functionally, like you're checking the functionality of the application. Right. Yeah, thank you very much. So do you have any other question, right? Before we continue to non-functional testing. So non-functional testing, as its name requires, we are just checking the non-functional aspects of the application. The non-functional aspects of the application. We are not, this time around, we are not checking the functional aspects. We are checking the non-functional aspects of that application. If that application is working the way it's supposed to work. It is designed to test the readiness of a system as per non-functional parameters, which are never addressed by the functional testing. Like we are checking what was not even stated in the FRD. Like we are checking what was not even what does not even requires the application to do per se, but you still expect it to meet that requirement. Like you still want it to be working the way you want it to work. So that is what we require by non-functional testing. And when we are doing non-functional testing, we have types of non-functional testing also. We have the compatibility testing. It's a type of testing to ensure that the software program or system is compatible with other software programs. Like, just think about it like you want to build an application, or you have built an application, and the application is required to work on mobile, right? Okay, can this application run on this Android phone? Okay, if it can run on Android phone successfully, what version of Android phone can this application run on? does it have a level of Android phone that's in the version that cannot run this application? And if the application is to run on iPhone, can it also run on the latest iOS version? So that is what you are checking. You are checking the compatibility of the system. And if it is an application that is to run on web, like on your PC, like, okay, can it run on Mozilla? Can it run on Chrome? Can it run on the Windows 10, Windows 11, in that order? You are checking the operating system against what you have. It's not like if you want to open your application on Chrome, it will not open. And the best place you can open your application is maybe like maybe you will have to use maybe Edge or Mozilla Firefox. These are just types. These are just what's compatibility testing. You are checking if that application is compatible. What you have, is it compatible on different environments, on different operating systems? If, okay, can I open this application on my mobile phone? Yes, I can open it on my mobile phone. What version is my mobile phone? Is it an Android? What version of Android is it? Is it the latest Android? Okay, if it can open on the latest Android, can it open on a downgraded version, like a version that or outdated version rather? Can it open on an outdated version? You will check that. These are what you are checking for when you are performing compatibility testing. Do we understand? You are checking if the app is compatible. Do we understand before I proceed, please?
Yes,
Just
go ahead.
unmute. Yes, thank you. So that is what you are checking. And compliance testing is part of non-functional testing. It's the type of testing to ensure that the program, the software meets the system specific compliance standards. As I've said earlier on, like, you know, when you're doing system testing, you're checking for the system, for the compliance of that application. But now, if you're performing compliance testing alone, and you're not, if you are doing system testing, you will have done your regression testing, you will have done your unit testing and everything before you now perform your system testing. Like, now check for the compliance of that system. But if you are performing it as a standalone, you are performing like basically more like a non-functional testing. You are just checking if it meets a particular standard. You're just checking if it meets a particular compliance. Like, as we've said earlier on, just think about it. You are not, this time around, you have not done any other type of testing. They just call you as a tester. Okay, our QA, please help us to check if our application actually deducts 10% from people if they want to transfer money out of the application. So for you performing that kind of test, you just want to check if it actually meets, and this is a compliance that's set by the CBN something. So you just have to check, you are just doing more like a smoke test, like a quick test. You just want to check, okay, when you are performing that type of testing, you are doing a compliance testing as a standalone. This time around, remember that you have not done your integration, you are not doing your integration, you are not doing your units, you are not doing your regression and every other form of testing before you proceed with your compliance testing. Do we understand the compliance testing before I proceed, please? Do you understand the compliance testing before I proceed? Any question?
Yes.
Emmanuel, you have a question or you understand?
No, I'm saying I understand.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. So we have endurance testing. Endurance testing is just to ensure that the software program can handle a long time and continuous load. Let me explain load testing first, right? I'm explaining this one. I'll come back to this. When we talk about load testing, is to check the number of users that can run an application at a time. Like, you are checking the number of load. Like, when load this time around means users, means people that are interacting with the application, means people that are performing one thing or the other on the application. Okay, how many people can actually stay on this application before it crash? So that is what we mean by load testing. If you are doing load testing, you are just checking the number of users that can, okay, most of this load testing, they are done using tools to simulate users, to run an application. So you'll be so sure that, okay, at and this is the number of users that can work on this application at a time. Now, endurance testing is the system program that can handle is the software program or a system can handle a long-term and continuous load. For example, now, a banking application, the application is tested to know if the system can sustain under continuous expected loading. Like this time around, for a load testing, you just load everything at once. Okay, I want 2 million users to be using this application. I want to check if it will crash. Then you run 2 million application on it, 2 million users on it, on the application. Then the application might crash or it might not crash. But when you're doing endurance testing, you might start as low as 5 users. Okay, can this application take 5 users at a time? You add 5 users to it. Okay, it can endure 5 users. Okay, can this application endure 20 users at a time? You add 15 to your 5, it becomes 20. Then okay, yes, our application is still working well. Then you proceed to add more and more to it until you feel like, okay, this is the list, this is the highest number that our application can endure before it breaks. Do we understand? Do we understand? Do we have any question? Endurance testing is just to check.
Hello, Ma, please. I want to ask a
Yes,
question.
Sandra. All right, thank you.
Okay, since we are under manual testing, how do we run load testing and endurance testing manually?
Manually is just to gather number of, like, in my working place, right? Sometimes we did not have many users, we don't have many QA. So if we want to run load testing, this is what we do. We suspend everybody from whatever project they are on. We are like 6 or 7. So we've just have, okay, we need to check this point. The 7 of us should be doing this thing at the same time, because that are the number of QAs that are available. So manually is just that the users interact with the application manually. And if it is something that you need people from outside to, like, you need more numbers, more people, more users on that application at that time, you just have to request for more people to use your application if you are performing manual testing. Mostly all these endurance testing, load testing are performed by automation tools. They are performed by automation tools. Yes, most of the time, just to ensure we are getting the right results. We don't want to assume things as a QA. We don't want to assume. We want to ensure we are getting the right results. So most of them are performed by using of automation testing tools. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Do you have any question? Okay, we can continue. So we have performance testing. Performance testing is just to check, is a type of testing to ensure that software program or system meets a specific performance goals. Meet a specific performance goals, such as response. How many minutes will it take me to, if I search Nivea, right? How many minutes will it take Nivea to pop up? Like, I'm checking the performance of this application. You will see sometimes you are trying to log into an app, and after you have logged in, it will take maybe like 50 seconds or a minute before it actually loads to the landing page or to the home page of the application. So the performance testing is just to check how many, like, the time. You are checking for the time it will take an application to work, to actually work the way it's supposed to work. Like, how many minutes is okay if you want to. This performance testing also is actually most of the time using the automation testing tools. Like, we use automation testing tools to perform performance testing. Or sometimes a QA also can also do performance testing. What will you do as a QA tester if you are doing performance testing? If they ask you that, okay, a particular field or a particular module is taking time to load, when you want to click on that field, maybe they report a bug that if I want to click on sell on Jumia, it's taking 3 minutes to load. As a QA, you will have your screen record on, most of these screen record applications usually have timer. So you will come and you will click on sell on Jumia. So if you click on sell on Jumia, your screen record with the timer will calculate the time for you. Then you can now write it in your report that, okay, this application loads after 15 minutes. This application loads using the timer on your screen record and your screen record as a video evidence that you actually test if you want to perform performance testing. So do we understand performance testing also? Do you understand performance testing also? Performance testing, you are just checking the number of time it takes an application to work before it actually loads. Maybe a page, how many minutes does it take my own page to open after I've logged in? It takes 1 minute, it takes 2 minutes, it takes 3 minutes. So that is going to be the end of the class. I'll do a quick recap because I know that we've taken some questions during the class, and if you have any other question, you can still ask, but I'll do a quick recap. Today, we talk about types of testing, right? We talk about the functional testing, and talk about the non-functional testing. The functional testing, we are just checking the list of requirements, the list of our functional requirements against what we have. The list of our functional requirements against the application that is given to us to test. Is it working the way it's supposed to work? And after that, we have types of functional testing. We have the unit testing, we have the integration testing, we have the regression testing, we have the system testing, we have the retesting, we have different forms of performance testing. Aside from this testing that I've given to you in this class, the types of performance testing is not limited to this that is displayed on the screen, please. You have a lot. You can Google, you can browse, you can check YouTube videos to check. We have a lot types of functional testing. So we have a lot. So we talk about the non-functional testing also. This non-functional testing, now we are not checking against any requirements. We are just checking if this application actually meets some non-functional requirements. We have types of non-functional testing. We have the performance testing, we have the load testing, we have the endurance testing, we have the compliance testing, if you are doing it like compliance testing, and we also have the compatibility testing. Yes, compatibility testing. So if you have any question, please raise up your hand. I will take questions before we call it a day. Questions?
Good evening.
Good evening, Sadiq.
My question is, some of these testing, you said is not QA's functionality, like they're not done to do it. Why are we now?
No, please, can anybody debunk what Sadiq said? Like
No, because like you said, no, there is before this slide, there is one you said.
That is just unit testing. It's just this one, and I said it's only this one, and I said majorly is done by developers. It's not as if QA do not do unit testing, but most of the time QA wants to go beyond doing unit testing to regression testing. I don't know if you get my point. If you report a bug now that they should fix a text field, as a QA, after you have tested that test field, you will still want to test things beyond that test field. You won't stop on unit testing. You will want to go beyond that. I said basically the unit testing is done majorly by the developers. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So does that answer your question? It's only unit testing that is done majorly by the developers. Other forms of testing that we mentioned in this class are done by QA.
All right, thank you.
All right. Do you have another question? Okay. I will assume we did not have any other question. How many of us are having issues with our Discord channel and our LMS channel? Like, maybe you are yet to get on the right.
I submitted an assignment, but have not been graded yet.
Who submitted an assignment? Goodness.
Goodness. Yes, ma'am.
When did you submit?
Today.
Oh, okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just joined the class as well. I had to
Okay,
watch the
okay,
recording today and also take the last week.
okay. No problem. I will do that.
Thank you.
I will do that, yeah. Do you have another question?
No, no.
Or any other issue with okay, thank you. All right. So
Good evening.
good evening, Adeniji Michael.
Yeah. So I have a question based on the non-functional part. I see non-functional part as the behavioral part of the system. Now, you mentioned something about performance testing on screen recording. Now, when you're saying it, this came to my head because maybe jam, for example, when I experienced that. Now, for example, you need testing normally based on you're testing when it's just only one person that is running the application, like load testing. Now, maybe thousands of people have loaded the site and it's not functioning. So how, as a QA, how do they, because you're saying something about your screen recording and recording the time. So how will you record that? Like, okay, the performance of a software when like 1,000 or 10,000 people are loading it at the same time? Because most of the time I didn't hear that part.
Okay, I said it earlier that if you are doing performance testing or load testing or endurance testing, basically you should do this using automation tools. This testing should not be done manually. And if you are using the automation tools, your automation tools will generate your report for you.
Okay.
That's what you represent.
Okay.
So you get, like, it will generate the report. Okay, this is the number of users, this is the performance percentage, it will generate the report for you. But sometimes you can perform it manually. That's why I use the screen record. Like, you just want to show them, okay, I'm trying to check so that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So what kind of tool are you going to use to test for performance testing? First and foremost, automated tool. Let me just.
We have JMeter. You can use JMeter. JMeter. Yeah.
Well, I saw on the curriculum, what about Selenium or something? I saw it on the curriculum.
We are using Selenium for UI testing. You're not covering the non-functional aspect.
Okay. That's fine.
So do you have another question?
Did you say we're not covering the non-functional aspect of testing in this training?
Yes, we are basically going to do manual testing, and we are going to dive into the API testing for Postman. We use Postman, that's the second one, and last we are going to use Selenium for our UI testing. We are not using non-functional automation tools in the curriculum of this course. Maybe the advanced, you have to know as a beginner, you have to know the basics first. All this performance testing, load testing, they are not really, it's non-functional testing. So it's not something that they will really requires a QA to come and do. Like, if at all they need a QA to do it, it will be like people with years of experience. I don't know if you get my point, goodness. So this is beginner-friendly course, and we are just trying to give everything that we needed to get a job.
Okay, but if I get you correctly, we're not doing non-functional testing and we're also not doing automation testing.
No, we are not doing non-functional testing. We are not learning non-functional testing automation tools. We are not learning non-functional testing automation tools.
Okay, but are there automation tools for functional testing separate?
Yes, for your UI testing, you use Selenium, and to check your API, you will use Postman. So we'll be doing that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, You're welcome. Any other person? Any other question?
Hello,
Yeah.
good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
Is it possible to get like the slides of the today's lessons on the Discord? Okay. Or
It's
anywhere,
not
I don't
possible
know.
to get. It's not possible to get it on Discord, but where it will be sent to you, will be communicated to you. Like,
Because I
but we
realized the
cannot share
last
this
one,
like
the first,
on Discord.
okay, even the first one too is not. Only the YouTube I can see, but this one I don't
Yes,
know if because it can. I mean, it could help. That's why I said it's not possible for it. If you can
we are
help
not
us.
sharing it on Discord, but it will be shared. Like, I don't know where it will be shared, but we are not committed to share it on Discord.
Okay, just inform us.
Possible. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much, everybody. Next week we'll be talking about manual testing, like our UI testing. We'll understand our elements. We're going to understand our UI elements, how to interact with them, and how to test with them. Next week we'll be doing more of practical. So if you have your PC, you can actually come with it to the class, because we'll be trying to test some application manually, and I will ask you to give me feedback. Like, you just want to understand your elements. As a QA tester, if you want to write a bug report, you should be very clear. Like, when you are trying to communicate to your developer know this field as a search field, right? As a search field, you should not now write, if you want to write a bug report, you should not be giving your developer another name. Like, maybe the test is not working on the something field. Your developer know this as an icon, as a cat icon. So we need to understand this. Your developer know this help, this arrow, they know it as a drop down. So we'll be doing more of that. So when you want to write your bug report, you'll be able to know how to write a clean and clear bug report. You'll be understanding UI elements next week. Sandra, please, I will take your question. You can unmute and talk.
Okay, thank you for this section. Sorry, I wanted to confirm, after this training, since we are concentrating on manual testing, can we actually get a job as a junior QA after learning just the manual testing, or do we have to still go and learn automation testing before we can get employed as a QA? Yes.
Sandra, for the purpose of these 3 months, right? For the first month, we are learning the manual testing. Like, as a junior QA, you need to know you need to know how to test. All these automation tools, there's no way you can write scripts if you don't understand it manually. You need to be able to test manually before you can start using automation tools. For the first month for this course, we'll be using our manual testing, doing our manual testing. The second month, we'll be using automation testing tools for our API testing. So that is like an automation testing tools also that is required for a junior QA to have a beginner knowledge about. We'll be doing that. And for our UI testing, we'll be doing Selenium. I feel like these are just the basics that you need to start as a QA. Not like all these, the application, the aspect I said we are not covering in this course is the non-functional aspect automation testing tools like JMeters and the likes.
Okay, all right. That's clear now. Thank you.
So I'm so sorry for that. So that is going to be all for the night.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Great
much.
class.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.